Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, back for another metal update. This is June, and I've got a bunch of LPs and CDs. First one we're going to look at is the one we're listening to, which is the debut from Mortar Skuld. It's their first two albums. The Dying Remains on the first album, and if you fold this thing out, we get their second album as Humanity Fades, which is really good. That's what we're listening to now. So Mortar Skuld's a band that I slept on. They're from the US, early 90s death metal, from 93. So I heard their fourth album back in probably the early 2000s, and it was just plodding, boring, groovy death metal. Didn't do anything for me. But these first two, and we're listening to the second one here, are just solid, no frills, just early death metal American style. If you're liking just Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, Banished, Baphomet, those bands, the first two from Mortar Skuld are really worth your time. So that's what we're listening to. Next release we got here is from Thou Art Lord. This is, there you go, Thou Art Lord, Greek black metal. I'm trying to get this back into the damn jewel case. Never re-sleeve. Anyway, there we go. Greek black metal from about 95, I think. Around about then. Very interesting back. And I think this has got members of Necromantia in it, and I wouldn't be surprised because it sounds so much like that material. Pretty hard to get this one. Eos Phoros is the name of the album. Highly recommended. Came out on, what is this on? USR. I can't even really tell what this label is actually, but oh, there we go. Unisound came out on Unisound Records in around about 94. So there you go. Yeah, if you like bands like Varathron and Necromantia, then you're going to like Thou Art Lord. Definitely worth your time. Next two are awesome and related. I picked up the debut from Ungod. Fantastic German black metal from again probably mid-90s, not sure exactly what year, maybe 94, 95. There you go. Very cult, black and white, mod invasion triangle stuck on with concrete. This is really good, absolutely sensational. Circle of the Seven Infernal Packs. It's pretty furious and raw. It's a bit like early Dark Throne. Yeah, that's about all I need to say. The debut from Ungod, 1993, and just completely worth your time. Not too hard to find. This is the original press, and there was a few on Discogs that are not terrible price, so they must have printed a few of these. So that's good. Definitely pick it up. And related, the split between Ungod and Baxax Axa. Both German bands, and this is both their demos from about 92 or so. So there you go, very plain lyrics and stuff. So yeah, demos from each band, 1992, much more raw than the other Ungod that I just showed. Limited to 1,000 copies on Merciless Records. A little bit harder to find this one, but well worth your time. Baxax Axa I showed in one of my last updates, reformed and did a new album, long EP album called The Old Evil, and that was excellent. It sounds like it just picked up where they left off. And well, this is where they left off back in 1992, so definitely worth checking that one out. And onto the LPs now. It's a real thrash collection this time. I went shopping. We got Nasty Savage Indulgence. This is some awesome US thrash from '87, I think. Fantastic. Has a really thick, punchy kick drum sound to it, which really appealed to me. Check this dude out here. Gotta love those. Love those wraparound wide sunnies. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, this is their second album, and this is the original press. Get nice lyric sleeve and crowd shot, really good. Just black vinyl on metal blade. Been after this guy for a while, and was very happy to find a local shop that had it. In fact, pretty much all these LPs, all the thrash ones, which I'm about to show, I got locally, which is really good and unusual to find this kind of stuff still at a shop in Australia. But yeah, super happy with this album. I really want to get their first one self-titled now, so awesome. Nasty Savage. And similar, but from across the pond, Death Wish from the UK. This is their debut called At the Edge of Damnation. Really like the line art on this one. Back on Metalworks, small label, I guess. One with lyric sheet, both sides, and just black vinyl, the Metalworks label. Yeah, so it's actually kind of similar in sound to Nasty Savage, but it's way more underproduced. A fact that they rectified on their follow-up album called Demon Preacher, which I think people are more familiar with than this debut. But still, really good, pretty fast thrash for '87, and yeah, quality release all around. A little bit difficult to get, but as I said, I was lucky to find it locally, so worth your time. But if you're not familiar with the band, I'd say start with Demon Preacher, the second album. It's just more of this, but refined. So, good stuff. A little bit different. Vicious Rumours debut, band that I was not familiar with at all. And I just saw the cover online. I thought that looks pretty cool. We'll give it a go. And I was blown away. 1986. It's just more heavy metal, a little bit of speed metal, but it sounds like this cover. It's just epic, fighting dragons, that kind of stuff. Really good. Soldiers of the Night, clean vocals, get some range on him as well. Some fantastic band shots there. All the leather jackets, all the puffy hair. What's this guy? What's he all about? I don't know. But yeah, early Roadrunner release, which I've been finding I've almost started collecting, because there's just so many black vinyl, so many bands on Roadrunner that I wasn't aware of. For me, Roadrunner was always Deicide, Suffocation, bands like that. Go back into the 80s and it's just so much more bands like this, and 1 and 2 hit wonder thrash bands, and they did a lot more than I can really I really expected that label. So I'm really enjoying just finding Roadrunner Netherlands presses on vinyl. So Vicious Rumours, I want to get their second album, which is sort of more of the same but a bit more technical. Very good. Another US band, Wrathchild America, not to be confused with the glam band Wrathchild, who are pretty bad. This one's got awesome Ed Repka artwork. Kind of an odd one. It's good. It's pretty good. It's just pretty strange. It goes from sort of technical thrash, but you can tell that the band had been listening to a lot of Aerosmith and they were trying to work their way out of it. So it's sort of, it goes from thrash metal to just Aerosmith, deadly, just completely Aerosmith riffs. Then a bit of a punk beat, and then back to thrash, and they do it so quick that you're like, oh, here comes a shit bit. Oh no, we're on the thrash again. It's really quite fun. Yeah, woof. I'm loving the art on on these. The photos are fantastic. This guy's just sitting there eating his porridge out of the pot. Yeah, it's fun. It's just kind of strange. I want to see what their follow-up album is like, because from what I understand, the stuff before this was even more on the Aerosmith side of things, and this is sort of like, well, everyone else is doing thrash, so let's start trying thrash. Maybe they kept doing it. I want to check it out, but this is Climbing the Walls from '89, and yeah, it's pretty good, just a little bit weird. Hex. This is a good band. Hex with Under the Spell, their second album. This is yeah, this is really good. Sort of speedy thrash metal, kind of raw. They went on to the album after this was basically death metal, and then they stripped it back a bit again. They reformed and went back to sort of heavy metal. Love that art there, fantastic. Another Roadrunner. As I said, it just keeps happening. I keep finding these Roadrunner presses. So yeah, just another black LP with a Roadrunner logo. But yeah, really enjoyable, this album. Sounds like a band that should appear on like Noise Records or something. That's sort of what I was thinking. I kept picking up going, oh, they're on Noise, aren't they? Oh no, it's on Roadrunner. So, you know, that probably helped explain some things. Hex. Yeah, definitely worth checking them out if you've not heard Hex. I know that, yeah, the more death metal album that follows this got a reissue on the Crypt, but this is the one before it, when they're still a bit more thrash, and highly recommended. Yep, Under the Spell. Got the debut from Angel Dust, Into the Dark Past. This is a Brazilian press, which is probably the first one I've ever had, which is kind of interesting. The main difference, I went and looked on Discogs, is that clearly the Brazilian label, which is Woodstock Discos, has gotten access to the original LP, and then, like, well, wouldn't be scanned, but they would have photocopied or done something, reproduced it, and then stuck their logo in the middle, because you can see it's just that one layer of resolution lower. It's just a little bit pixely, a little bit like a magazine printout, that kind of thing. But anyway, the pressing and the audio is really good. So yeah, just more ripping thrash from what, 87 again? There's so much stuff from like 87, 88, 89 that I'm just playing catch up on. Band went to about 2002, I think. I don't know anything after this album, so I'm not sure if they're any good after this one, but I'll be sure to check them out. Angel Dust, really good. Absolute classic. Artillery with Terror Squad. I love that. Just crudely drawn front cover there. You got a cop, you've got, it's like a soldier, another cop, a doctor with a syringe, and like a killer rat or something. Killer cat. Amazing. Terror Squad. This is furious stuff. And it's quite underproduced. It's like they forgot to master it. But that's fine, it works in its favour. It's just this close before it falls off the edge. The whole thing is just running that the whole time. It's like, is it going to fall off? Because it just doesn't stop. It's just completely and utterly furious. Awesome band, and one that I've just neglected over the years. I really want to check out the debut and the one after this. I understand it's like the three best from the band Artillery. Yeah, not an easy one to find. Again, I found it locally, paid a little bit more than I probably should have, but not too disgraceful. And this one's on Neat Records. I'm seeing their name pop up a bit in my searches now. It's got lyric sheet in there. Just a nice release. But yeah, it is, I don't know if this thing got remastered, but I swear they didn't master this at all. It starts off clean, and then as you get to the B side, it's like it was a different recording day. It was just, by the last song, the volume's lower, and I've checked it online. It's not just me, it's not just this record, it's just how it is. Like by the last song, it's starting to get a bit quiet, and It's kind of strange. It's, yeah, the mixing's been kind of forgotten. Or if it's intentional, there you go. But it's nice and raw and it's fast, so that's artillery with Terror Squad. I was stoked to find this. This is not an easy one to find. Hexon House at the Edge of Eternity. Buddy of mine, YouTuber, Extra the Mutilator, was telling me about this band. Very thankful to him for pointing this one out because this kicks ass. This is from, I want to say something like 89, no, 1990, and that makes a bit more sense. This is a bit more technical, kind of progressive thrash. Thinking man's thrash, like a bit like what Coroner started to do later, and Atheist, but not with the death metal part of it. So that's sort of where it's going, and you know it's going to be something special and a bit more technical because it starts with a little excerpt from Moonlight Sonata, bit of Beethoven to get you going, and then it just kicks off onto it's a pretty fast thrash, but then it gets very Swedish. I mean, they're a Swedish band and they've just got a lot of melody in the riffs, and the lead guitar is just awesome. So yeah, Hexon House, The Edge of Eternity. This is their second album. I really want to get their first album. The name escapes me right now, but you can't miss the first album because it has the same artwork as Morbid Angel's Blessed Are the Sick. The exact same painting. And I think they did it first, so there you go. Very cool on Active Records. Nothing too exciting inside. This, oh yeah, this was the find of my second-hand LP hunt. This is Metal Sword. This is, oh man, German heavy metal band. They're trying to be speed metal, but it's just mainly dirty heavy metal. Bit of Motorhead at times. It's just an EP. I love that cover. Love it completely. So good. Yeah, so just an EP. This is the only thing this band did in 1986. There's no CD of it. There is literally just this LP. No follow-up, nothing. They made this and this only, and then they walked away. Metal Sword. Pretty solid, yeah, just rough and raw heavy metal. And then you get to the last track, which is called Disco Is Fuck. Disco Is Fuck. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, but I'm sure it was this guy that came up with it. Who knows? Disco Is Fuck. It's also the most fun track on the little 6-track EP. So 3 tracks per side, and yeah, from 1985. And yeah, when it gets to that final track, it starts off like it's a disco song, and then somebody just like hocks a big spit, and then it kicks into the fastest part of the entire release. It's bordering on speed metal. It's just got fast double kicks, and they just telling you what it is. The disco is shit, and it is just fuck. So there you go. Metal Sword, as opposed to a Fibro Sword or maybe a Nerf one. I don't know. Right, and that's the old stuff. We'll get into the new things. Brand new one from Traveller. This is Termination Shock, their second album. Only had the one spin of this so far. It's solid. It's clean Canadian heavy metal, bit of speed metal, mainly heavy metal. Now, their first album bordered a bit more on speed metal, I thought. It's not as heavy this time around. There are tracks that are, but first impressions was that it is a bit more refined and less speedy than the debut, which, you know, remains to be seen if I prefer that or not. But still a solid release from Traveller. It's really cool to see these bands coming out of Canada now. There's a really good compilation, name escapes me, it's not a black LP, I don't know why I took that out. Yeah, there's a compilation that's got all these good modern Canadian metal bands on it, and just go look for Traveller and then look at the compilations they appear on. There's a compilation anyway. So much good stuff on that. It's worth checking out. And yeah, Traveller is one of them, so very good. Bit of black metal now. Sad tale of this one as well. This is Vampiric Rites with Reflections of a Frostbitten Moon, and yeah, this is limited to 100 from Death Cult Productions, who are definitely one of my favourite underground black metal labels at the moment. But this one came with a sad story, and I don't know how well it's going to come across, but the LP came from England, and don't know how well that comes across, but she's a bit of a dish, and yeah, very sad. I have so far attempted with partial success. Oh, never re-sleeve on camera. Anyway, I will carefully put that one down. I've tried with partial success to remove the bowl from that, but it's not working out perfectly well yet. I've been trying the heated glass technique. So you use 2 glass cutting boards, heat them up in the oven, and then the LP in its paper sleeve you put between the glass boards, and then leave it on the countertop for an hour, or until the glass boards cool down. It has taken the worst parts out, but it's still pretty bad. It will play the A side fine now, but the B side I've got to skip the first track because it simply can't get up over the hill, which is a shame. I'll keep working on it. Very annoying, and thank you to the postman or whoever broke that. Re-release Odium, The Sad Realm of the Stars, 1998, Norwegian black metal, symphonic black metal. I know that Brain Smash is a fan of this one, and he talked about it in one of his updates probably quite a while ago, and it made me remember that I had the CD, a promo cardboard CD, many years ago, and it got lost and I forgot about it. Then I saw a local online Australian metal record store was having a 30% off sale, and I had a look around. I couldn't believe they actually had this, and I paid all of 18 Australian dollars for this, brand new, which US dollars about $12 brand new for this. Okay. And I think it's actually the 2013 repress, not the 2018, so there you go. Heavier weight LP, probably about 140 gram or something. So it's it's symphonic black metal, around about the time of your Dimmu Borgir years. In fact, it was on the label, it's a Nocturnal Art, that I think one of the guys from that band runs, the Samot's band or something. Don't remember, or is it? Yeah, no, that's Emperor. Anyway, it's one of those. And it's not cheesy like sort of Dimmu Borgir of that era. It's got the keyboards, but it's still really quite furious black metal. Just a bit like, there's another band called Fog, kind of similar, and a little bit dark funerally, but the keyboards that are played all throughout sort of takes it away from being just blasting Norsecore. So anyway, Odium, with I think their only release they ever did, so that's very nice. I'll carefully put that there. 2 more to go. Diabolic Night. This is really cool. Modern sort of black and speed metal, black thrash at a touch. It's mainly black and speed metal. Some of it gets pretty thrashy. I think it's a one-man band, I think, and so yeah, it is. So in that regard, it's a bit like Toxic Holocaust. The vocals are kind of similar. You know, the purpose and the idea are kind of similar, to have like a retro-sounding, sort of blackish, thrashish band. It's got a bit more just traditional heavy metal sound to it than, say, Toxic Holocaust does. So I think I prefer this quite a lot, actually. Yeah, Diabolic Night with Beyond the Realm. This was part of that sale. That on HR, and I was on High Roller. I was looking for this since they released it. It's not very old, maybe 9 months old or something, 6-9 months old. Looking for it since it was coming out, and I thought I might get it locally, and I was getting quotes for $65, $70. Ended up paying 32 Australian, so like 24 US maybe. Very happy with that. And the last record, and the last thing for this update, the new one from Exhumed, It is just simply called Horror. Awesome, awesome art on this. They've gone for the 80s slasher vibe. It's got really cool reflective colours over this gore bit there. I love the fake UK ratings advice, the 18. Please rewind. And this is really cool. The back's a VHS library, and that's the song titles for side A, and that's for side B. I think that's really cool. So Exhumed's a band that I liked their first one, Gore Metal, like 20 years ago now, and then I forgot all about the band. They did Slaughter Cult, didn't do much for me, and then I forgot about them. And they're reasonably popular, I think, so I don't know, just didn't happen. But I really liked Impaled, which sort of spawned off from this band. Anyway, when I started to see all the talk about this album, I thought I'd give it a try, and blown away. It's just fast, tight grind. It's got the gore elements to it. It's got Leon, I think it's Leon from Impaled doing the lower vocals, so it makes it even sound like Impaled. And it's just fun, tight, grinding death metal. Can't argue with it. I'd say it's their best material since Gore Metal, because that's probably the last time I really paid attention to them. It's even got sort of a fake LP sort of pressed against the cover there, but it's all fake. It's brand new from Relapse. Very impressed, and so that's it. That's the update. Quite a few things there, lots of thrash, big into the thrash at the moment, and I'm enjoying all the 80s stuff, so probably see more of that in the future. Thanks for watching, see you next time.